Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're at the Save Our Seas Foundation Shark exhibit. And here to show you these beautiful animals that you see behind me, and there's one right over there, a ragged-toothed shark. You might be wondering, why would we want to keep such a beautiful animal in an exhibit like this? And it's not every day we get to see sharks. Our ragged-toothed sharks play an important role as being an ambassador for their kind. And they're here to educate people about their status, about their role in the ecosystem, and so much more. Ragged-toothed sharks are actually very calm, docile animals. Yes, they may look quite fierce and scary with their protruding teeth, feared by most people, but found in aquariums worldwide because they don't need a lot of space to swim, and they're not referred to as ram ventilators, which means that they need to swim all the time, whereas the ragged-toothed sharks don't need to. And this is enough space for them to be quite comfortable in an aquarium. Lilly-May arrived here in 2017, weighing around 24 kilograms. Today, she's over 2 meters long, weighing an impressive 117 kilograms. We feel that she's served her purpose as an ambassador for her kind, and it's now time for her journey to end. Let's have a closer look at what it's like to remove these beautiful animals from this exhibit all the way out to the top and into the truck on its way to East London along our South African coast.
I am Paul and I am the Curator of Operations and Animal Husbandry at the Two Oceans Aquarium. My main role of responsibility is to manage the well-being of the aquarium collection by managing people, systems and processes. This includes the collecting and releasing of animals on a continuous basis. I really love what I do, and there is nothing more rewarding than being involved in the process from start to finish. Each animal that spends time with us at the Two Oceans Aquarium ultimately plays a role in educating our visitors, explaining their role in the ecosystem and the importance of conservation and sustainability for our future well-being.
My name is Dean. I'm a senior aquarist at the Two Oceans Aquarium. I'm on the collections team, and we're responsible for the collecting, transporting and releasing all aquarium specimens. I really love what I'm doing because I'm fully immersed in the sea every day. It gives me a chance to go down to the beach, which I grew up doing. I grew up diving and surfing, so any chance I can get to be close to the ocean and the sea in general, I would take that.
It is quite a process to remove a large shark from an exhibit in the safest manner possible. A scuba diver uses a custom-made darting pole to jab the darting syringe into the shark. The syringe contains a concoction of medication consisting mainly of metatomidine. The drugs are used to sedate the shark just enough to slow it down, allowing the divers to maneuver it into a large, clear PVC cone.
So the darting process, for me personally, I just try to stay very calm. I've been diving with a lot of sharks before I started working at the aquarium in the ocean, so I'm already quite calm around sharks. So guiding the shark into the cone requires me to hold 2 wooden sticks just to put behind the shark's pectoral fins and basically just guide it towards the opening of the cone. And we have 2 divers that assist me to help hold the cone open and to give the signal to the people on the surface for when to close the bag.
Once inside the cone, the shark is lifted to the surface and moved into the medical pool. A reversal drug is then injected by our veterinarian into the shark to reverse the effects of sedation. Once the shark shows signs of awakening, it is moved into a large stretcher and hoisted from the exhibit to a holding pool. Its breathing and buoyancy is monitored until the shark is fully awake and swimming in a normal manner. During any move or procedure, we ensure that the shark has oxygen-rich water, which is usually supersaturated in excess of 200%. Generally, when we release our larger ragged-toothed sharks, we tag them with an internal Vemco V16 acoustic transponder. This is a sophisticated piece of equipment and is surgically implanted into the coelomic cavity located on the underside of the shark. This is done under anesthetic using 2-phenoxyethanol to sedate the shark. An incision is made by our veterinarian and local anesthetic is administered to the surgery site. Once the tag is inserted, it is sutured closed with dissolving sutures. The shark is kept in holding to ensure the wound is properly healed before it is released. Once released, the acoustic tag will transpond to acoustic receiver stations located along our coastline. These listening stations are operated by scientists, and valuable information of the shark's movement will be recorded. This ultimately helps us to learn more about the movements and migration patterns of ragged-toothed sharks.
From From the aquarium, we put the shark into a big blue stretcher and close the stretcher. The main purpose of that is just to keep the shark straight and also keep the people who are carrying the sharks safe, just in case the shark was to move around a bit. And from there, the shark goes into the 6-ton transport tank. It holds 6 tons of seawater on the back of the truck, and it's a rounded tank to allow the shark to be able to swim freely and maneuver efficiently. Paul and I drive. We take a few stops just to rest and also to check on the health of the shark, check on the water quality along the way, and if everything's all good, we keep going.
Transporting live sharks is not an easy business. It is generally a stressful process for us, as there are many aspects that need to be taken into account. We need to constantly monitor our water quality parameters during the journey. These include pH, temperature, and dissolved oxygen levels, which are very important to the shark for respiration.
During our drive, we stop off and do about an 80% water change on our transport tank, and this just allows for any excretes or ammonia that is built up in the water to be removed and fresh seawater to be added back into the tank.
It's always fascinating to see the different reactions we get from the public on our journeys. These range from excitement and amazement to confusion and surprise. It's not every day a petrol attendant gets to put diesel in a truck and see a large shark at the same time. It's awesome to see how people's perception of public aquaria often changes after a brief chat.
Shark releases always gather a lot of attention from the public, and the most questions come from the kids, and they've always got very interesting questions, but it's really fun to listen to them and to answer them. It gives me a chance to educate them, teach them about shark behavior, and impart my knowledge that I've learned through my years of working at the aquarium with them. When
we release a shark, there are so many factors that need to be taken into account. We always do our best to make sure sea conditions are ideal. However, nature doesn't always play along. Our release of Lilly-May was interesting, as there was an extremely large swell running when we arrived at Seavale, East London. We therefore decided to wait for high tide and release her as the tide turned. The idea was that the drop in tide would assist her to negotiate the sandbanks and make her way out to sea. This release was extra special as Roy Martin, the angler who originally caught her, was present and assisted us in the release. It is even more exciting to hopefully receive some data from her tag one day. We held her in the powerful surf, and after a short time, she was strong enough to swim freely from the stretcher.
Once the shark's out the stretcher, our main concern is to safely release the shark and watch it swim off strongly and through the waves and straight out to sea. But we have to prioritize the human safety as well. So once this gets released, we quickly have to make sure everyone stands back from where the shark came out the stretcher and make sure the waves don't wash it back onto the shore.
After a few waves crashed over all of us, she was able to power her way off the sandbank and into deeper water, and was assisted to her freedom by the drop in tide.
What a beautiful experience to see these animals change the negative perceptions of their kind and to fulfill a journey of being an ambassador. What better way to celebrate their time with us by releasing them back into their homes? Aquariums worldwide are special homes to various types of marine life, and each of them are caretaken by incredible individuals who are passionate about their jobs and the well-being of their animals. Next time on Ulwandle Stories, we will share the journey of a jellyfish together with the scientists and aquarists who work with them.